What would you say the hardest part about being a first gen student is?
The hardest part about being a first gen student is definitely your family not understanding how difficult the whole process is, like FAFSA, applying for certain loans and grants. It's all, I feel like people who have parents who have gone to college, their parents are very used to it. Like they know what to do for FAFSA, they know what loans to apply for, what loans not to apply for. It's like I didn't go in with that knowledge, with that support. Non-gen students can relate to me, I feel like, because everyone's going into their first year, whether you have parents who went to college or not. I definitely think for first gen students it's a little more difficult, the process, and like living away from home for the first time is definitely more difficult because we don't have the same support system or like the same advice that the students with parents who went to college would have.
Over one-third of college students are first generation. Over 33% of these students often drop out. This is because of financial issues, lack of support, and lack of access to certain resources. Students who come from families where their parents have gone to college do not often have the problems first generation students have.
As a first gen student, I've always felt like I had to work harder than others. What might take one student 1 hour takes me two. And then FAFSA and other financial aid processes came easy to those who had parents who were able to understand. And like growing up, I've always wanted to go to college. I wanted to study education and be an elementary school teacher since I was in fourth grade. And my parents, forget our situation, never doubted me or tried to tell me that I couldn't go. Despite financial issues, they always supported me, always loved me, always pushed me to go to college, be the best I could be. But when it came time to go to college, I was really scared. I didn't know what to expect. My parents didn't go to college, so I had to do a lot of things on my own. It was hard, but I managed, and now I'm almost done here at ESU.
Many students have to factor into things such as textbooks, housing, bills, laptops, and various other burdens. It is not uncommon for lower income students to drop out of school because the cost becomes too great. Another student, Brayden, also explains how it feels to be a first generation student.
For me, being a first gen student, my parents never went to college, but I was the only family member that went to college, and being a freshman is like a little bit hard for me with the ton of assignments you gotta do. Especially that you working on something that you gotta work on your assignments, and it can be really tough for you. I grew up around Mountain Poconos, and I want to be a photography after I graduate college because I like to take pictures every day since I was in third grade. It was always my favorite thing to do. I can't relate to other students that is not in the first gen because we're all just working on the same goal.
Since many first-year students are the first in their family to go to college, living on campus is the first time many are away from home. On-campus living is very difficult for any student who is not used to living by themselves. First-generation students are expected to go through this hard process all on their own. Less than 28% of colleges hold data for first-generation students. This makes it difficult for them to give certain support to students. Many schools do not have support like ESU's First Gen program. It also must be noted that college isn't for everyone. Some students come from families where their parents dropped out of college. Gabe sat down and interviewed his father, who decided college wasn't for him. This is a decision that is very frowned upon, but it is normal and a typical thing to decide.
Did I go to college? Yes, I did. I was accepted to Temple University School of Engineering in 1988, and I went for 2 years. Did I feel pressure to attend college? Absolutely. My parents wanted me to go to college. The colleges advertised hard in our school. It just seemed like that's what everybody should do at the time. Was I hesitant to drop out of college? No. It was a combination of my actions and the decision being made for me by the college. I I was not cut out for college. I should have never gone. I had the intelligence, but not the devotion. I had always worked construction my whole life as a teenager and a young man, and that's what I really liked, and I really feel that's what I should have stuck with. Do I think I made the right decision? In a roundabout way, yes, I did. I made a lot of mistakes over the years, and I had a lot of jobs that had no future, but they were fast money and fun, like working in bars and bouncing and that kind of thing. If you fast forward 25 years to where I am now, yes, I made the right decision. Did I make the right decision? Did I go about it in the right way back then? No, I did not. Had I chosen a trade at that age, at 19, 20 years old, and stuck with that trade, I'd be in a very different position than I am now, professionally and financially. But like I said, I took a lot of jobs that were just fun jobs with fast money and no future. If I could go back, I'd smack myself in the head and say, get in a union and get a good trade. So I feel that college has become a business. There was a time when only the intellectually elite, the really, really smart people went to college. Now, college will literally accept anyone, even if you have bad grades, blah, 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 whatever, as long as you got the money. And if you don't have the money, you can get the loans. To me, in my opinion, all those colleges are after is the tuition money.
What did you think when your father told you he didn't finish college?
What I think my father told me he didn't finish college? Wasn't very surprised. My father's always been in the blue-collar line of work, and he's currently a demolitionist. And my father always went by the ideology that college is not for everybody. And I was brought up on his side, knowing that I wasn't required to go to college. Although my mom's side, I was always told that that piece of paper is powerful, and to make it in life, I need to finish college and get that degree. So I had two contrasting opinions from both my parents. One went to college, one was a college dropout. So I was brought up with these colliding viewpoints, and that kind of left it up to me to decide if I was going to go to college and continue with the degree I required. My father not having a college degree brought struggles to my everyday life as a child. Not having that college degree and being a college dropout obviously put my father in a hole that was hard to dig out. And for my entire childhood, we weren't very financially stable. I never knew, of course, because my parents treated me no different. I felt no different because I was a child. But as I grew up, I noticed the burden that college put on my father and the burden that college put on my mother. I definitely think people can come off as insensitive when trying to understand the lack of degree in my family. Because I don't really blame them, because people are told that this degree defines intelligence, when in reality there's so many forms of intelligence that a piece of paper can't define. It may define your IQ, but it doesn't define your intelligence. Growing up with a father that didn't go to college really soloed me out compared to all of my friends. Everyone I knew had two parents that went to college, and I had a parent that dropped out of college and a parent that went to college because they felt like they had to. So I was in this position where I was never told what was right and what was wrong regarding college. So it was really up to me to decide whether it was beneficial to me.
Very insightful. We also interviewed Abdul, who is also a first-gen student.
What did I think when my parents didn't go to college? I felt like it was just a lack of opportunity where they came from. My parents are from Africa, so they didn't have as much resources as we do here in America. So I definitely just try to help out as much as I can as a person that had to grow up early. I wouldn't say I struggled more than other people. I say I probably had to put more work in than other people. So more hours in than other people. Like, let's say for an assignment, I take an hour. I might have to take the time out to get a tutor, or maybe take an extra hour to do that assignment. But I would say I definitely overcome my brothers. Yes, me being the youngest, my brothers do play a high role in my life. Just coming to anything really. When it comes to anything, I could go to them, ask them simple questions with relationships, with girls, or money issues, or like, you know what I'm saying? It could be about anything. I could go to my brothers. So yes, my brothers do play a high role in my life.
East Stroudsburg University is made up of a lot of Gen 1 students. There's an entire organization dedicated to them. First-generation students certainly face difficulties that typical students do not. However, as expressed by those interviewed, that's not enough to stop the desire to learn and continue education.